5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Please do not change channel.
From Krypton Radio, brought to you by Famous Faces and Funnies and Off the Chain with Yvonne Mason, it's the Hanging With Web Show Radio Hour, the Internet's premier pop culture talk radio show. You're tuned in, you're logged on, and now your hosts, G.W. Polliter and Christian Mazel. Who you hanging with?
Hello, Krypton Radio. Hello, World Wide Web. Hello, everybody out there in the Internet's radio land. We are the Hangin' With Web Show Radio Hour. I'm G.W. Polliter.
You talking to me?
That's right.
I should never have that. Nobody should allow me to have something like that.
That
this
over there. Basil. That's right. That's Christian Basil with the brand new soundboard.
Yep. It's in honor of our previous guest, John St. John, a terrific and wonderful man. I found an app that has his soundboard on it, so there you go.
Very, very, very cool. That is awesome. We are the Hangin' With Web Show's Radio Hour, and we just wrapped up another live webcast of the Hangin' With Web Show's Indie Music Spotlight. What a great time.
Love it.
We get to spend an hour, just before we record this show, we get to spend an hour live on the air listening to music. Just chilling together.
It's my favorite.
She didn't say it. She didn't say that. She likes this show.
I do like this show very much.
She likes the show where Kristen and I get to talk about stuff.
I like talking about stuff.
You like talking about stuff?
I do.
All right. That's right. Guys, we are here tonight, and we're excited. We don't have a guest tonight. We have elected instead to tell you about us. This is the story of us.
I like us.
That's when the radio's turned off.
Us is fun. Us is fun. No, what we do have, though, is we have our hometown con, our hometown convention this coming weekend.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about all the great folks we're going to see there. We're going to talk about Garrett Wang.
That's right.
That's right. Hacksaw Jim Duncan. That's right. All you old WWF fans, WWE fans, we got Hacksaw Jim Duncan coming to Space Coast Comic-Con to hang out with us.
We have Carlos Navarro, too.
Yes, we do.
From The Walking Dead.
From The Walking Dead. That's right.
You know the Monsters of the Midday or something like that?
Yes.
The Monster Show on radio?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's what I thought I knew that name from.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what else?
We got entertainment at this week's Comic-Con. Fantastic entertainment. Mm-hmm. We've got the Phantasmagoria.
Yeah.
It's coming over.
That is so cool.
That's great. I
love their wagon. Oh, my God.
We're getting close to that time of year again, too. I mean, Halloween is just around the corner. It'll be here tomorrow.
It is. So we got our great friends, the KitchenKillaz.
Oh, yeah. That goes without
That's right.
saying.
Friday night, 9:05, right in the center of the hotel. It's the Convention Center, Cocoa Convention Center. It's the Holiday Inn Express on 520 in Cocoa. And,
it's a wonderful place.
It
really is cozy.
It is. It's great because it's great for bringing together our sci-fi geek culture family.
Yes.
And it is. It's a big family reunion. It's great people.
Yeah.
We had a superhero dog. We had Tug. Tug the super dog.
Tug's coming?
Tug's coming.
A hero among us.
Yeah. A superhero
among us. On the guest list. Okay.
Yeah.
Super dog.
Look, if you're running around Brevard County, Florida, and you want to come out and take a picture with the most famous Impala ever.
She's a beauty.
She's a beauty. And the supernatural car is coming to Space Coast Comic-Con. We'll be out front to take pictures with. How's that, guys?
Sweet.
We got filmmakers. Our very own right here, Jake Estrada, Alex Fernandez. We've got our good friend, Hangin' With Web Show's good friend, Athena Finger will be there. Our great friends at the Florida Con Artists, Tia Jean, Charles Watson, over at Dishes and Stitches will be there. Old Guy Cosplay.
The zombie headquarters truck is going to be out there, so come as your zombie best.
That's right. Dress in your zombie finest and come on out to the Space Coast Comic-Con. That's where we're going to be this weekend. We're going to talk more about what's going on and our favorite parts and what we're looking forward to the most when it comes back. But we have to do some news. There's lots and lots of stuff happening in pop culture and geek culture.
Jeez.
Lots and lots of stuff happening. So we got to do some news.
And now, all the pop culture news that's fit red. Here's Sage Ia.
Well,
Love it!
I do too.
Yeah, thank you so much, John St. John, for providing
Excited.
Sage's intro for the news. John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem, provided Sage's intro, so he's now the Sage intro voice.
I love it.
Isn't it great?
All right, well, before Christian jumps out of his alligator boots. Okay,
While they're still alive.
Yes, I want to tell you about Doctor Who.
Yeah?
Okay, because the new season is dropping October 7th. And this year, they are going to be on a Sunday. Normally, they've always been on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
This time, it's going to be on Sunday. Episode 1 is The Woman Who Fell to Earth. And Jodie Whittaker says she's way too nervous to watch it while it's playing in her own time zone.
Valid.
She's going to turn her
Valid.
phone off.
Look,
She doesn't
this
want notifications. She's like, nope, nope.
This is an historic season premiere.
Yes.
It is. This is the first official BBC female doctor. This is an historic moment for the show, and if I was Jodie Whittaker, I'd be nervous too. She's got big shoes to fill. She's got many sets of big shoes to fill, and all reports, though, Christian, what are you hearing, man? All reports says she's done just an absolute amazing job.
Well, the report, the social media out there is not at all bothered by Jodie. Everybody seems to be ready for. They're really upset about this Sunday changeover again,
Yes.
and everybody's like, I'm just like, come on, guys, can we just get through this? Can we give her due? Give it her time. And I'm not exactly sure why. I was trying to find out. There's some people who believe that you got to keep it where it is. Saturday nights for the kids. But I really don't know. I think they've done this where they've changed the show's premiere, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And that's one of the blames as to why it left the air after 26 years. So I'm just, guys, can we just do this? Can we just get it? And it's a global premiere too. Everybody's going to see it, so I'm happy about that. I don't know how they're doing it globally. Unless they're doing the same thing that they did for the 50th anniversary, where basically just premiered all over the place at once. So I'm really excited about this. I'm totally excited.
It is. This is an historic moment. This is a great changing of the guard, as it were. Everything we hear on social media, everything we hear from all of the great watchers and media stalkers out there says Jodie has really brought it. She's brought her A game to take in this mantle. And you know what? The Sunday night changed. Not so. I remember being a kid. I remember Sunday nights being able to stay up, quote, late. I remember
Wide World of Disney.
That's right.
Exactly
there was the one night, one school night, I got to stay up late because of Wild World of Disney. Now Sunday's not the kiss of death. Tuesday afternoon, that's the kiss of death.
I guess people see it as it's like Saturday. You still have tomorrow, so I can stay up late and watch Doctor Who, and then I can sleep in tomorrow and geek out with my friends. Whereas Sunday, you're seeing it Doctor Who, and then you're going to geek out when you get to school tomorrow. So
and you know what? I actually, for my money, Sunday nights for especially the older kids, high school kids, college kids, and professionals, people at home, people our age. Sunday night is actually ideal because the show will be fresh. You'll be up watching Doctor Who, hanging in your pajamas, watching the show, and tomorrow morning when you get up, it's still fresh in your mind when you get to the water cooler. And let's face it, when this premieres, this is water cooler bait right here.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you get to the water cooler, you got something to talk about, and I think it's gonna be great. I do. So I look forward to that. So yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Here's some other interesting news.
What else you got?
I thought this was a riot. All right. So Marvel's Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay, so they let some of the photos drop
Yes.
for the first time, and Samuel Jackson got his first peek at his photos where they de-aged him.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And he said that it was doper than he thought.
Doper than he thought.
That is a direct quote.
That's a direct quote. All right. Well, first of all, if anyone can deliver that line and sound sincere and serious, it's Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Okay. Mace Windu can say almost anything and get away with it.
That is true.
Did they have to CGI out his beard and mustache?
You know what? I'm not sure if they did the facial hair or not. I know he had hair, which was awesome. You know, we haven't seen Samuel L. Jackson with a full head of hair in a long time.
And he's got 2 eyes.
And 2 eyes. Which, by the way, everybody out there on the internet, it is true. Samuel L. Jackson does, in fact, have 2 eyes. If you heard it here first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
So that's awesome, though.
Right.
And I'm looking forward. Captain Marvel is going to be amazing.
It's going to be
It
wonderful.
really is. We've seen teasers. We've seen bits behind the scenes. We've seen some great photographs lately coming out of both the more subdued colored early version of her costume, for lack of a better word. Suit. And then we've seen the more modern, up-to-date, with all the very colorful Miss Marvel colors, Captain Marvel suit. So the set photos are amazing. They're doing a great build-up to this. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I did see the cover of Entertainment Weekly actually ran Captain Marvel photo. The superhero world that is belongs to our young women today.
That it does.
Captain Marvel is going to bring that. We've always had it over here in the Marvel universe. MCU has been great at this. We've had fantastic, right from the beginning, back with Iron Man 2, we had Black Widow introduced. And she's been bringing it. She's been really leading the charge. And then, just episode after episode, we get great, strong women. Captain America brought us Peggy Carter. Mm-hmm. And it just keeps getting more and more and better. So Captain Marvel is a high point, but it's one that we've seen coming, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
It is. Well, I'm gonna stay in the superhero world. But
okay,
you
do that.
I'm gonna flip-flop over to DC.
Flip-flopper?
I am, because you know what? Steven Spielberg with Amblin Entertainment is going to tackle his first DC Comics property.
Ooh.
He is going to do the World War II action-adventure hero Black Hawk.
Wow.
Yeah, by Steven Spielberg.
That's pretty cool.
Hashtag take my dough.
That's exactly right.
Hashtag take my money now. Spielberg gets into the superhero game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
So that's going to be beautifully epic, I think.
You know what? No doubt about it. We have some great, wonderful modern filmmakers who are really bringing it to our superhero franchises, to all of our franchises. But for our generation, growing up in the 70s and 80s and forward, okay, we look back and the OG filmmakers, okay, are the Spielbergs and the Lucases and the Scorsese, and these are the OG filmmakers, right? These are the guys who created the modern cinematic experience for us, and to have one of them jump in on a superhero property and say, "Here, boys, this is, that's like being we're going to school. We're being taken to school."
All about that.
Amen. Let's do it.
Yep.
Let's do it. We had to take a commercial break. How do you like that? I got another one of those. According to John St. John, we have to count them throughout the day.
Ooh, stink eye.
This is we got 3 stink eyes tonight.
That's it. Well, commercial break, and then I have some more news.
You do?
Yes, I do.
She got more news, Kristen.
Got it.
She knows more stuff. All right, let's go. Come on, pay some bills, baby.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
Hey everybody, it's me, John St. John. You know, the voice of Wynkoop, and this is Hangin' With Web Show, baby.
What's that? Hey, welcome back everybody. You're listening to the Hangin' With Web Show Radio Hour. I'm GW Pomisher.
I'm Christian Basil. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah.
I am Sagia, and guess what?
She's still doing the news.
There's no place like home.
There isn't.
No, there isn't. Do you know that Dorothy's ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz have been found?
Yay!
It's true. They were stolen from the Judy Garland Museum. They had them on loan in her hometown of Grand Rapids. They were stolen in 2005. And I love this. The FBI did a sting, and they found Dorothy's ruby slippers.
Yes, they're fabulous.
At least one of them, because there are 3 other pairs out there.
Yes.
The Academy of Motion Pictures has one. The Smithsonian has one, and then there's a private collector.
There's a private collector. He paid over $15,000.
Yes.
for the third pair of shoes. I remember when that auctioned at Christie's.
Do you think he clicks them 3 times?
Not anymore.
What do you think he wants when he clicks them 3 times?
They have been found. I just thought that was
That's
cool.
awesome. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I get a kick out of the whole, there's an FBI sting to find
I know.
sequin red shoes.
That's why I liked it too. But speaking of the Academy, okay?
Your taxpayer money is going to good use.
For 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
The SAG-AFTRA Foundation awards the Artist's Inspiration Award.
The Artist's Inspiration Award.
Yes, it's artists who have used their acting platform to advance humanitarian and philanthropic causes.
Okay.
And this year's recipients are Harrison Ford and Lady Gaga.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, Harrison Ford does the conservation.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and he's on the board for his charity, and Lady Gaga is the Born This Way Foundation for mental wellness and youth stuff. So I thought that was really cool, and they're in good company. Leonardo DiCaprio and Lionel Richie have also won that award in the past.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. You are a font of news and information tonight.
I am a font, yes.
Yes.
My fountain runneth over because I am not done.
Wow.
Just
that's not ladies and gentlemen, that is not the first time I've heard that sentence. Anyway.
Hello.
Okay.
Well, all right. This weekend at the movies, okay?
At the movies. What's
if you're going to the movies this weekend, The Nun.
Oh, my gosh. I saw
premiering.
a teaser for that.
Yes. Now, these are the...
That's creepy.
This is a prequel to the Conjuring franchise.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that part. Mm-hmm. I just saw the commercial for it and thought, whoa.
See?
Creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy, to me, is better nowadays. And the every age, every decade, if you will, has its horror draw. Okay, so we grew up in the 80s and 90s. Those were the slasher days. We had Freddy and we had Jason and we had the Halloweens and then the Friday the 13th. But the modern horror is creepy horror. It's suspenseful. It's like, I don't know. I can't even describe it. It's beyond Hitchcock.
Yes, you better have somebody. You better have somebody that you really like next to you in the theater, so you can grab.
And yes,
on.
I did say that, everybody out there. I did say beyond Hitchcock because Hitchcock was a master, and he created a type of filmmaking. Mm-hmm. And every decade since then, it is just built on his work. And
he
this
scared the crap out of me when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
He actually made cassette tapes. I know I had cassette tapes.
Okay, so
and he would tell his stories on cassette tape, and I would listen to them.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Well, anytime there's a horror movie out over there, he's the gold standard. Everybody kind of uses him as the barometer.
That's right. He is the platform. He's here are the basics created by Alfred Hitchcock, and then everything you build on top of that. So it's Hitchcock, and then that's your base, and everything else you build on top of it, and that's how you get better and better and better. And so some of these suspense horror movies have been absolutely amazing, and I saw the teaser for The Nun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dina won't go to the theater for that.
No, she won't.
Because she's got to hold on to both of us while she watches, so it'll be
that
like
That Nun freaks me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't tell me you watched a movie and not once just kind of squinted the eyes praying that nun wouldn't touch you.
I said The Nun's that creepy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's creepy. It's all in. It's all kinds of creepy.
You've never seen the, what was it, the first, the Insidious movies?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
No, sadly.
Yes. And no, so the Nun is actually now, it's its own thing now. It's kind of a prequel, so that's pretty cool stuff. I look forward to that. I won't again. We because of the sheer number of amazing films that come out, like every month now. Our movie budget is relegated to event movies, so big event movies for the theater. But we have like a whole wish list on iTunes, and my iTunes library grows every day. And my wish list is all the things that I want as they come out. And as soon as something drops for pre-order or whatever, I put it on my wish list, and that's that's most of our movie time is spent on.
Well, Chrissy and I did the Movie Pass thing.
That's pretty awesome.
We hadn't. Yeah, I meant. Well, it's unfortunately they're tweaking it because I thought at one point they did lose some money. And I thought it was an incredible thing where basically you paid for one movie and you had movies for an entire month. and you could see one movie on a daily basis. And now they've kind of changed the parameters because I think they're understanding that, I don't think you can do that.
Well, Movie Pass was doing all right. The people who were losing the money, and because I just read an article on this today, the people who were losing the money were the movie makers, the distributors. Yeah. And we just read recently, as I said, the Hangin With Show team has been invited the middle of this month to the Oaks 10 Premier Oaks Theater in Melbourne, where we will be there for the premiere of John Travolta's Gotti. And
September 17th.
It is Gotti has enjoyed a limited theatrical release, which means it's going to different theaters at different times, waiting before it goes to DVD and Blu-ray, and it's opening at some of the larger cities, larger theaters. It was one of those movies that much of its accredited gross was in Movie Pass dollars, basically, which the translation from the Movie Pass to dollars for the distributor, there was a loss there. Not because people weren't seeing it, but because people were seeing it for free, essentially, because they'd already bought a movie and gone to another movie. So, yeah, they had to probably tweak that model a little bit. I like the model, though. I love the idea of sort of a membership to go to the movies. I think that's great.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is certainly, with the number of movies that come out nowadays and the budgets and everything, there has to be a way for average families to get to the movies more often. It's a nice night out. We enjoy it when we get to go. Mm-hmm. So
I have a family movie coming up.
You have a family movie coming up?
I do.
All right. What do you got?
It is called House with a Clock in Its Walls.
Yes.
Right, and that's adapted from the 1973 book by John Bellairs. It's coming out September 21st at the end of the month. It stars Jack Black.
Yeah, I was going to say, it is adapted from a 70s book. However, the 70s book was a little creepier and a little less funny.
Yes.
Jack Black is bringing a lot of humor to this film project, and it's really set to be quite something.
He is the warlock uncle, right? And his nephew comes to live with him.
I don't have any.
And
of
they
those.
live in
Why
a
don't I have
magical.
any of those? Why don't I have any warlock uncles?
You don't have a magical house either, which is where he lives.
This is not fair.
Yes, but you know who they're fighting against? The undead sorcerer, who's played by Kyle MacLachlan.
Wow.
I love it.
I can see that. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Wow. Awesome.
So that'll be fun.
Awesome.
That's later in the month. See, now we have a whole bunch of stuff to watch in the movies.
In other news, just stuff that I was reading about online, I hear that our good friend and Hangin With Web Show alumnus Kevin J. Anderson and writing partner Brian Herbert are moving closer and closer to a good deal for a new Dune.
Ooh, that was an awesome segue.
Yeah. So isn't that cool? Speaking of Kyle MacLachlan,
that's exactly
who will
right.
probably not be in this one.
No.
But was in the 1984
Yes.
Dune. So, but yes, they're working tirelessly, and I guess really they're getting closer and closer to a good deal on Dune.
I'm excited to see that.
I am too. Big screen version of Dune. And again, not that 1984 wasn't done properly. We just didn't have what we needed to do it as well as possible. And the acting, you had Kyle MacLachlan, Patrick Stewart. I mean, you had some really top-notch actors.
We just didn't have the effects that we have today.
Yeah, and the ability to tell a story that's as visually demanding as Dune.
Yes.
And now we do, and I can't wait till they get a deal. So Hollywood, if you're listening, make a deal.
Sign that already.
Sign that already, man. Sci-Fi fans, we will line up in droves for that movie.
We will.
Yes.
And in cosplay.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cosplay one of those worms bouncing around.
Just don't cosplay Fade, please.
Okay. Maybe.
Maybe. Wow. And so, anything else? That all you got?
Is
that all you got?
Of my news, except for what we decided to talk about for Space Coast Comic-Con this weekend.
Yeah. Big weekend for the Hangin With Web Show team. Lots and lots of content.
Mm-hmm.
Lots and lots of artists, authors, filmmakers, musicians, creative minds of all kinds.
New folks, old faces, fun times.
Yeah, man. It's Old Home Day, and it's a great little family reunion. You know what's happening this weekend out at Space Coast Comic-Con?
Tell me.
It seems Christian has lost the traveling TARDIS.
I can't believe he did that.
Right.
He has. He's lost the traveling TARDIS.
I had nothing to do with it. He got up one day. He didn't want to wait for me. You know, he didn't want to take the long path to Space Coast. He just wanted to go over there and do his thing. And next thing I know, boom, he's gone. So somehow or another, he's over there right now in time and space, but he's lost.
Well,
so
all I'm saying is, if I can manage to keep my eye on Cosplay Michael, you should be able to watch a TARDIS.
wait a minute, Cosplay Michael's a kid, and you can always get one of those little leashes that I've seen with parents going to that. You're talking about a device that travels through time and space.
Look, there are two
all
rules.
I've got is a camera.
There
to go
are
chase
two
them
rules in the universe. You don't put a leash on Cosplay Michael, and you never put baby in a corner.
That's right.
Okay.
Those are two rules in the universe. Apparently, though, the traveling TARDIS will be out there at the Space Coast Convention Center somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bounty.
That makes all of us bounty hunters.
And then Boba Fett.
And so, she gave me the little...
Wait a minute, Sage, can I actually add to the news? I'm sorry, there is one piece of article that I want to add.
Well,
and
yes, by all means add to the
bouncing
news.
from the universe before we continue on with Space Coast. I don't know if you two know anybody by the name, an actress by the name of Jacqueline Pierce. And her claim to fame is she was in Blake's 7.
Okay.
And she also made an appearance in Doctor Who for one episode, which was the Two Doctors.
Okay.
And she also she's had a major role in British television, and she unfortunately had passed away at the age of 74.
You know, I
due to
did
lung
read
cancer.
that. I did read that recently. Yes.
So.
And yes, and so all of us fans of the BBC universes and such will miss her performances. Because she's, character actors don't get their due. You know, character actors and actresses who really bring a character to life for 1 or 2 episodes here and there, but they are the backbone of a good serial.
Yeah.
And so we will miss Jacqueline Pierce. We have to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about Space Coast Comic-Con. We're going to tell you who's going to be there, and what those people have been up to, and why you want to come and hang out with us at Space Coast Comic-Con. So stay tuned in and stay logged on and see who we're hanging with next.
In the summer of 1953, private investigator Will Lucky Marks was working as the in-house private eye for Arcane Pacific Pictures. Trapped inside the studio with the killer, Lucky must find the killer before time runs out. Lot 28. Own it today. Available iTunes and Amazon.com.
Discarded by Michael J. Allen. In a world where magic is sold like designer coffee, unknown forces have corrupted it, and it's killing people. Now, an unlikely hero emerges. A homeless ex-con creating spells out of a trash can is the only one who can save the city. Michael J. Allen's Discarded. Available on Amazon.com.
Now, back to GW, Christian and Sagia.
All right. Thank you, John St. John, for welcoming us back to the Hangin' With Web Show's wait, no, that was last hour. I got that wrong. How do you like that? We are the Hangin' With Web Show's radio hour here on Krypton Radio. And we're talking about Space Coast Comic-Con. We're talking about some of the great folks that are going to be there and what they're doing and where they've been and who they are, in case you didn't know, but you should. Wow. So, what are you most looking forward to this weekend, Christian?
Our panel.
But yeah, we do.
Friday panel.
Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Hangin' With Web Show will be hosting a podcast panel.
Are they really that crazy?
We really, really are. And we may have some special guests that we will announce at a later date here. But we are looking forward to that. We're looking forward to sharing our journey with everyone at Space Coast Comic-Con and talking about the do's and don'ts and wills and won'ts that we faced as we built the show. Mm-hmm. Shows, plural.
That's it.
Which is why I got it wrong, everybody. I haven't gone insane. We're so fortunate, so blessed. The Hangin' With Web Show Started out about 3 years ago. We do our daily talk interview series every morning between 9 and 10 a.m. You can catch the Hangin With Web Show's video interview series on hanginwithshow.com or on youtube.com, or check us out on social media where we are every week for the past almost, I think, 30 weeks. 30 weeks. Every week, Thursday, 7 p.m. on Krypton Radio, we've been bringing you the Hangin With Web Show's radio hour. And now we've got the Hangin With Web Show Indie Music Spotlight that we run every week on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. from Spreaker.com. And a couple of weeks back, we teamed up with our good friends, the KitchenKillaz, to help facilitate the KitchenKillaz podcast every week, every Friday night at 9:05 p.m. So we've filled our week with bringing the best we can find of arts and entertainment to everybody out there on Krypton Radio and on the World Wide Web in general. And so we are excited to share that journey with everybody during the panel. I think that's going to be a fantastic time. What do you think? What do you want to tell everybody at the panel? What would you like them to know if they come in to see? What is this podcast thing? Why do these people do this thing? What do you think you want to tell everybody?
I think it's because it's a fun ride for everybody to listen to us. I'm hoping. One of the things I tell people is, what do you think about us, for those who listen to us? But it's a fun ride since I got started here back in January, and it's been one hell of a trip. Just geeking out about everything under the sun. And not only that, but meeting people throughout the Florida Con artists, Jaimie, Rick Stafford, all these folks, the Renegades. Just meeting them to and fro. This is a very, very wonderful show. Meeting my future ex-wife, Lauren Ettinger, cosplayer. She doesn't know yet. I haven't told her yet, but she.
Lauren is great. Lauren is
awesome. But I think one thing about the show is that we give we give a lot of different takes on things that come up, and we love to geek out. This show is totally something to geek out. And we provide a different formula as far as the four of us. I
love it. I love what we do, and if that's one thing I would tell people is bring something new to the game, and bring something original and something that you can be. That you can invest yourself in. We've seen podcasts, radio shows, and even web series focus heavily on one part of the geekdom, your favorite fandom. We've seen these shows, and they're wonderful shows. They're funny, and they're fun, and they're informative. We really set out to do what we're passionate about, which is to share our community as a whole, and not just one fandom, not just one group, but the entirety of it, the family that is the pop culture community, and especially those artists that create the stuff that we get jazzed up about. It's so amazing.
One of the best things, as you mentioned, especially when we incorporated our good new friends over at Embellish FX, is what's your show about? What's different about that? And I'm always been trying to capture one line that describes the show. We talk about geek and pop culture is one of those lines, and the other line that I've come up with is we give voice to the voiceless. We give an outlet to people who deserve a chance.
Yes.
And we do that with our indie spotlight, and we do this here for people. When you guys go to these conventions and you're walking down Artist Alley, and it's not anybody's fault, but you have a focus on, I'm going to get my celebrity autograph, I'm going to get my celebrity photo, I'm probably going to pick up a few merchandise things and then leave. And you probably don't even bat an eye about that artist that's struggling there making a painting, or somebody who's writing a new novel, or that cosplayer who's just trying to get their pictures out there and trying to be something, or that band who's plays a couple songs at the after party. We give them the voice that they deserve. We give them we give them that to show that people, hey, there's more to that convention than just the autograph row. There's all those people behind you that are incredibly talented and wonderful. And we've met a lot of people. I remember, I wish I remembered his name, but the gentleman who can make crafts with wire.
Oh, yes. Kevis from Twisted Wire.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He was just meeting all these people that are just talented. And when we were interviewing him, I couldn't help but stare at him while he was making a new piece in front of the camera. I mean, these guys are wonderful. If you have the chance to take a time to look and explore these things, and sometimes it's hard to do because these conventions can be congested, these conventions can be rushed, you'd only have a limited amount of time, and we give you the time for these folks to see and spotlight them.
Yes.
So that you can say, hey, the next time I go to that convention, I'm going to make sure I stop at that podium,
That's
or
right.
I stop at that booth, or listen to that concert. So
You do not want to miss out on your copy of Fried Pickle Noir.
That's exactly right. Our good friend J.R. Mounts. That Christian, I couldn't say it better myself, because that's what we were founded on. That's what we were based on. If you're listening to us right now on Krypton Radio or out there on the internet, we want you to know the Hangin' With Web Show. When we talk about some of our artists and the people who sit in the chair, and you'll hear me or Christian or Sage or Dina will introduce an artist as our great friend. This isn't a line, guys. When you sit in the chair, Christian and I and Sage and Dina, we get to know you. At Alley up north in New York, we get to know you. And I can honestly say Christian, did you see today? We counted them up. We did our IMDb inputs this last weekend. 500 webisodes.
Wow.
500 interview episodes of the Hangin' With Web Show are officially out and aired for people to listen to. You can find them on YouTube.com at Hangin' With Web Show, or on Hangin' With Web Show, HanginWithShow.com. And 500 new friends is what we've made.
It's incredible. I mean, and I'm ready to explore and see 500 more, and then another 500 more, and then yet again another 500 more.
Absolutely. It's been great, because what we found out is the arts and entertainment community, the people we serve, the people that we get to share, from the top to the bottom, from the left to the right, are people. They're people that we like to share our time with, and we like to share their work with our listeners and our viewers. From Tim Russ from Star Trek, who we got to spend a great hour with here on the Hangin' With Web Show Radio Hour, all the way down to
today's episode.
Which
was with Jake Estrada.
That's right, with Jake Estrada, organizer of Space Coast Comic-Con and the CEO of Space Coast Comics.
And the creator of Bocas.
Coming.
I can't wait to see that.
That's right. We met at Tampa Bay Comic Con not even a month ago. Tampa Bay Comic Con. Wow. We were there, and we were bringing interview subjects in and out of the set, and talking on the way in, and doing the interviews and on the way out. And Sage found, sitting nearby, just watching us do the interviews, a young first-time author.
Yes.
And never having been interviewed, he just published his book, never been interviewed, never been talked to before, and he sat there and watched all of these people being interviewed. We interviewed the Red Ranger. We interviewed artists, J.R. Mounts with Fried Pickle Noir. And he just sat and watched. And Sage said really quick, she said, "Hey, are you enjoying the show?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, I'm loving what you're doing." And then before long, he was telling his story, and we got to be his very first interview ever. Mm-hmm. And
iCoin, that was just...
Yes. He was just amazed that, someone would take an interest in his work and want to share it with the web.
It was like, you really want to talk to me about what I do? And we're like, yeah.
And to see those faces of those independent creators, all the way down Artist Alley, all down Author Alley, all through the convention halls, at vendor tables, creating and selling their art, to see those faces when you ask them to come and give us 15 minutes in the chair where we can talk about it. And we'll shout. We want to shout that young man out right now. He is the creator of a comic graphic novel, essentially, Jeremy Dwayne Mosby, and he is the creator of iCoin, which is an interesting new superhero comic. And from that guy all the way to Tim Russ and Claudia Christian and Kevin Anderson and all those guys that have sat in the chair, they're just folks, and they're great new friends, and we're always happy to see them. And we're going to make some new friends this weekend.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, at Space Coast Comic-Con, where we'll be from Friday to Sunday. We've got Garrett Wang will be out there from Star Trek Voyager.
Okay, yep.
And, you know, we've got the one I just saw announced today was Hacksaw Jim Duncan. Yeah, will be out there.
Dugan,
that's right. And we're excited to make new friends. And there's going to be a whole bunch of others out there, too. Some great old friends. As you said earlier, Jaimie Engle will be out there with not just books, but with some amazing... she also happens to be a creative artist who works with candles and wax and does some amazing things. And she's got some debut products coming to the convention. And we are... I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to sitting in the. It's only been a couple weeks between tapings, as you will, if you use the old term, even though there's no tape involved anymore, guys. But use the old term, between tapings of the show, there's usually 2 or sometimes 3 weeks between writers' conference and a convention, or another, or 2 conventions back to back, and. Those are the times when Christian and I get together and we do the radio show and we do the indie music spotlight, and we do we have to edit and we have to do all of the behind the scenes, the work that goes into producing the show. But those conventions, those conferences are the places where we get to sit in the chair and meet new friends.
And not only that, I consider this now, after going to conventions for about 6 years now. I consider each convention kind of like the family reunion.
It is.
And it's kind of like, okay, you don't see them for about 2 to 3 months, except for maybe on Facebook or on Twitter, whatever they're cosplaying or whatever they're writing or whatever they're coming up with. And then you get to physically meet them again just to catch up on what they're doing now. And it's like, yeah, I saw you doing this, or I saw you were doing that. And it's like, well, congratulations, Billy, on what you were doing. Or, Tia, you guys are doing a great job. They're doing Tia and Charles of Con Artists. They're doing Dishes and Stitches.
That's right, Dishes and
And
Stitches.
they've got the best jingle of every freaking show that I've ever seen.
Oh, it's awesome. If you haven't checked it out, guys, over on YouTube, check out Dishes and Stitches. It is run by our good friends at the Florida Con Artists, Charles Watson and Tia Reish. And they are doing a fantastic job sharing tips and tricks about cosplay, whether it be foam, crafting foam, whether it be working with sewing, whether it be, what kind of glue to use. Great tips and tricks for cosplay, but they're also talking about a healthy cosplay lifestyle. So they're teaching you about different foods and recipes to use and all kinds of great things there. And the thing that I love the most about Charles and Tia, I've always loved about them since the day we met them in the convention circuit, and that is the positivity, the message of a positive lifestyle, whether it be creativity or cosplay or anything. Be kind, be nice, be just be good human beings. And Charles and Tia are really sharing that message through Dishes and Stitches. And great job. Congratulations to Dishes and Stitches. This week, they hit a YouTube milestone. They hit their first 100 subscribers on YouTube.
And I forgot, what does that mean? Something happens to their channel, right? I forgot what that means.
No, it means a couple. It means a couple of things, actually. First, it means that they will be able to post longer videos. So when Charles or Tia have a project that takes a little more than I think it's 15 minutes is the initial setting, they'll be able to take 15, 20, 25 minutes if the audience is game. You feel that out as you get going, but you're able to do longer videos. That's the first thing that you get. The second thing is you get to choose your own what they call a vanity URL. And for everybody out there who's listening to Krypton Radio right now or on the World Wide Web listening to the show, a URL is the address of a website. And URLs at YouTube tend to be very complex. So it's youtube.com/user/
ZX593.
Oh yeah, they're very long. Now that channel, that's your channel ID, and it's very.
I know my URL.
Yeah, the channel ID is very important for driving traffic to your channel, but it doesn't have to be the only way to get to your channel. And so you can drive traffic to your channel using a custom, what they call a vanity URL, and Charles and Tia now get their custom URL for Dishes and Stitches, and it'll be a little easier to send people over, is what it means. People can go to their site a little bit easier and enjoy the shows. We have to take another commercial break, and as we do that, we want to remind everybody the topic tonight is Space Coast Comic-Con, nerd culture, pop culture, news, you name it, we'll talk about it. We're just going to sit here and talk until you make us stop.
Sometimes finding an anchor is the only way to survive. Chris Fenner's Dark Road series is on Amazon now. Start with Book 1, Addicted. Darkness creeps in. Continue with Book 2, Damaged, and the series finale, Avenged. Not every battle can be won alone, and sometimes it takes a little light to defeat the darkness. Chris Fenner's Dark Road series on Amazon.com today.
Channeling the Mothership is an exciting journey into the higher mysteries. Certified psychic medium and clairvoyant Jerry McDaniel's readings, writings, and messages have been received by thousands of people in more than 45 countries. These messages have been obtained by channeling his higher self. How does he do it? Is it a blessing or a curse? And what lay beyond the reach of your five senses? These mysteries and so much more are examined in this explosive book, Channeling the Mothership. Explore the mysteries of the spiritual and the metaphysical. Channeling the Mothership by author Jerry McDaniel. Available on Amazon.com today.
Hi, I'm Cosplay Michael with the Hangin With Web Show, and you're listening to Krypton Radio. And remember, cosplay's for everyone.
That's right. That was our very own Cosplay Michael ringing us back onto the air. Welcome back to the Hangin With Web Show Radio Hour, ladies and gentlemen. I am GW Pumisher.
I'm Christian Basil, and I can't wait to see Garrett over at Space Coast Comic Con, because we'll be, as far as I know, the only two Asian talents there. We got to represent the Asian culture, brother, because we're lowly represented in the geekdom world right now.
Well,
we're getting slightly there, but we're just not up there.
I'll tell you though that Crazy Rich Asians was #1 in the box office.
Yes, it was.
Not only my shot, but my mother went to see it, and she's Filipino, and she told me she literally cried at the very end of the movie, and I was like, okay.
Wow. No, it is. Our very first Hangin With Web Show Radio Hour was a conversation about the growing diversity in pop culture, in arts and entertainment. It is that we live in amazing, wondrous times where truly, particularly in the arts and entertainment community, we are seeing for the first time in our history, a true embracing of the diversity of humanity. And one small step at a time. I read an article today, and the headline was "Change is slow, but that's good." And the thesis of the article was change is slow, but because it's slow, it's permanent, and it's indelible. And that is good. And that's what we want. We want permanent change. We want to see a permanent inclusion. Not something that's trendy, not something that's trending on Twitter or Facebook or social media, which, by the way, we love because that's where we make our living, but something that's permanent, something that's ingrained in our human behaviors, and that is that embracing of diversity in, it starts with us. Everybody thinks it starts in Washington or it starts at City Hall. It starts with the arts.
Yes.
We paint the pictures that everyone will aspire to be a part of. We do it with our words in our books. We do it in film, in television. We do it in paintings and portraits. We create a picture of the world.
You know where we really do it?
Where's that?
We are good for that in our community.
We are. We do it right here in the arts, right in our community, and that's why we love what we do. That's why we love going to conventions and conferences and meeting more artists and authors and filmmakers and musicians and creators of all kinds, because this community is all about embracing that betterment, not just of our own community, but of our culture itself. And
I think diversity goes even beyond race, beyond sex. It is, I think, more of a human contribution to the individual and what you can find in yourself.
Yes.
To bring to the table, what talents that you have. And for some people, it is a quick search. They find it when they're a kid, and for others, it takes a while or a long time. And then for some, they have multiple talents out there. But I think diversity is a question of what you can bring to the table as an individual and make things better with your contribution to society.
That's right. You know, I am always drawn to. I think it's one of my favorite lines in a movie ever, at all. I'm always drawn to Robin Williams, reminding everyone that law, medicine, business, these are all noble aspirations and necessary to sustain life. But art, poetry, music, these are the things we live for.
Yes.
And, you know, that quote always brings a tear to my eye, not just as a creative artist, but as a human being, understanding that the part of the human journey are the stories we tell through our music and our art and our films, and those passing those stories on and making them truly diverse, making them inspire the next generation to find whatever is in them as an individual that they can contribute to the human community is an amazing thing. Speaking of community, a couple other folks we can't wait to see this weekend. We cannot wait to see our good friends, the KitchenKillaz, performing Friday night at 9:05.
That's a given. That's a given.
And we will be there live. We can't wait for that. And that will be right after the Spacey Awards. And we're very excited about that. The Hangin' With Web Show's crew, we have been nominated for 3 Spacey Awards. We have, I myself am personally nominated as Best Indie Novelist, G.W. Palmature, and I am humbled by that. I love to say it out loud because I can't hardly believe it. I'm in the same, that I'm even in the same room, let alone in the same mention as authors like Bob Dixon and Jaimie Engle. It is, I really am truly humbled by that inclusion. And we're also nominated, the Hangin' With Web Show, for Best Director. Guys, it has my name on the nomination, but I think everybody here at the show knows that I couldn't do anything. I literally couldn't get dressed in the morning, I don't think, without the crew that we have.
That's a true statement.
It is. It is a true statement. If it wasn't for Dina and Sage and Christian...
I won't help you on that one.
If it wasn't for Dina and Sage and Christian and Allie and Harry and Steven, Veronica Barriga out in California, and James Palmature, if it wasn't for everyone, Shelley Wheeler, who is always willing to help out, everyone that helps out makes the show. So when they say Best Director, they're using my name, but all of you get my applause, my thanks, and you know, my true appreciation for what you do.
Well, and you're also in good company in this category also. Yes, I am. Because Alex Fernandez is up against you.
Oh, my Lord.
And so is Joel Wynkoop.
I mean, these are guys that, I mean, that's way out of my league, man. I honestly, I think our show is wonderful. I think we provide something really invaluable to the community. I hope we do. We strive to. But the idea that what we're doing here is in the same league in some weird way with Alex Fernandez, who's creating characters and creating atmospheres. Just got back from L.A. shooting Surge of Dawn.
Surge of Dawn, yes.
Which is a collaboration
with Vincent J. Roth.
Mm-hmm. Huge cameos in that film. A massive undertaking. What directing is necessary for that is far more than I can ever do here at the show. Wynkoop. Joel Wynkoop. Wow. You know, what a prolific veteran of the horror genre. This is a guy that's got, you know, the proverbial B movie, the horror movie. He's a master of this. To be thought of in the same breath as Joel Wynkoop is absolutely astounding. And of course, our third award is not ours. we just get to be the entourage for young Cosplay Michael, who was nominated for 2018's Best Cosplayer.
Yes.
Happy to be part of that entourage. Honored to be part of that entourage.
Absolutely.
Along
absolutely.
with Amelia Poole and Cosplay Sugar High.
Yeah, I mean, you know what?
Combo.
That's amazing because when Cosplay Michael started cosplaying, really as a way to stay busy while we were at conventions,
look.
Yeah, look at him now. I mean, he's certainly a bigger star than any of us, and he just keeps going and going and going. It's fantastic to see, and he's made some great friends. And again, at 7 years old, to be mentioned in the same breath with Amelia Poole, Harlequin, Arts, Crafts, and Cosplay.
Yes, and Cosplay Sugar High.
And Cosplay Sugar High. What an incredible honor. I don't say these things lightly, guys.
What I've got to say is jokingly razzie a little bit there, because for the one category that we were in, I had been a part of 3 nominations in the same category for, I think, what was it, the media?
Yeah.
For the media role, I had it for us.
Social media and podcasting, yes.
Yeah, for podcasting. I had it for, well, no, it wasn't not necessarily podcasting. I think it was some kind of generic media.
Yeah, it was social
and
media.
I was with our team, the Hangin With Show, Gallifrey Stan's podcast, and Krypton Radio were all nominated for that meeting, and none of them actually.
No, and what's great is,
I'm like, damn it!
In the same
really?
category.
3?
We were nominated in the it was social media, digital media, and podcasting. And curiously enough, what amazing company to be in! Krypton Radio, Gallifrey Stands, and the top 3 finalists.
Oh yes. Well, okay, and we'll no preferential listing.
No, just do it right.
Okay, the way that they have them listed.
Okay,
right,
the way they have them listed
is Space Coast Cosplay and Props.
Amazing.
Which is our community's own old guy cosplay, Brad Bradley.
Yep.
Just amazing. The Power Hour of Love.
The Power Hour. Wow.
And the KitchenKillaz.
Yeah, no preferential treatment there. No, honestly, these are all 3 fantastic performances. Fantastic. These are weekly shows.
Oh, no, I'm saying if I'm going to lose, I'll lose to these guys. I'll gladly,
Yeah, and we congratulate them all. And again, just to have been mentioned in the same breath with the KitchenKillaz and Old Guy Cosplay and Power Hour of Love, such an honor to have been mentioned at all. We certainly wish them all the best of luck for their Spacey Awards. We are down to 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and with 2 minutes left, that means Kristen and I have a lot to say and very little time to say it because we have to thank some people.
You do.
We do. We have to thank some folks because we couldn't do this. First and foremost, without all of you that are listening to the show right now, we know we didn't bring you a terribly dynamic show tonight. We talked a lot about what we're going to be doing, but we promise you the next 2 weeks we have guests that you will want to stick around for. And so we're glad that you stuck with us this long. So thank you, first and foremost, for listening to the show. And thank everyone for keeping the internet turned on. And Christian, who else do we have to thank?
Oh my God, we got a lot of people. I didn't know I was going to be on the spot, but I was going to say Embellish FX. I was going to say Off the Chain with...
with our great friend, author Yvonne Mason at Off the Chain Radio, at Blog Talk Radio. Yep.
Space Coast Comics. I'm doing this from memory, believe it or not.
I'm good. I'm good. Keep going. Space Coast Comics are great friends there.
Yeah. Pound the Grape.
Pound the Grape. That's right.
I'm literally doing this from memory.
All right.
Hey, so guys, there's no bell curve here.
This is a pop quiz, guys. Here we go. Last two.
Wow, are there 2 left? And please, I mean to despair you. I'm just like, I'm doing this from memory.
I'm sorry. My mistake. Last 3. We have 3 left.
You're not being fair right now.
No, okay. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to jump right in here. We want to thank the Hangin With Web Show's very, very first partner, Something Unique Magazine, F. Kenneth Taylor, and the great
Famous Faces and Funnies.
That's right. And KG, Famous Faces and Funnies. Our good friend Rick Shea, right down in Melbourne, Florida. Check out all your comic and pop culture needs.
And they'll be at Space Coast Comic Con too.
And they will be at Space Coast Comic Con too. And our great friends over at Krypton Radio for making this show, the Hangin With Web Show Radio Hour, happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again, so we want to remind you all, this is all you got to do, guys. All you got to do. Tune in, log on, and see who we're hanging with next. Boom, baby.